just to clarify the title, I'm not talking about in-game. Spitting is coming to the Isle, but it's not a feature yet. I'm talking about a guy out here in the real world in the middle of the Corona quarantine era spitting on me. It was so bizarre, I had to talk about it. Hello everyone and welcome to a different kind of the Isle gameplay video than you are used to. This is something new that I want to try on for size, if it doesn't bore you guys to death, that is. I might do these types of gameplay meets storytime videos more often if you guys enjoy it. So what you will be observing with your eyeballs is just me having fun on the Isle. I like playing the game without recording the mic audio from time to time, but I do always record the footage, so here are my lonely adventures. What you will be hearing with your earholes is a story about what happened to me 3 weeks ago at this point. I recorded this shortly after it happened, but didn't come around to editing it into a video until now. Share your own craziest quarantine stories in a comment down below and let me know if you'd be down for more videos like this, and subscribe if you want to see more dinosaur stuff. Okay, I've just hit record and I'm just gonna ramble on about what happened last Wednesday because it has been on my mind the entire time and I'm shocked. I don't know what to think of the world right now. The world is going crazy and I just need to get this off my chest and talk about it. I've spoken to it with friends and colleagues before, but maybe I just want to throw it out there into the interwebs to really get it off my chest. Now, I want to start out by saying that most people are really respectful of the global crisis and are doing whatever they can to protect themselves, their loved ones, medical workers, or really just any given stranger by following the social distancing rules. And for those people, well done, you're doing great. But then there are also people, let's just call them what they are. They are corona terrorists, or just idiots, that works too. People who just don't give a shit and are so unbelievably antisocial that I think social distancing and lockdown rules should continue for eternity for this kind of folk, because they use this global pandemic and global panic as a weapon, like a toddler finding its dad's gun, that sort of thing. And it's so scary and so baffling and so frustrating, and it really drives me mad. Like, some people just need to stay at home for their entire life. I'm sorry, I've reached that point. I should clarify, because most of you are not in the Netherlands, most of you are in the I think the USA or the UK is the most I can't think of the word. Most people that watch my videos are from the USA or the UK. But in the Netherlands, I should clarify, we are not in a complete lockdown. What we have is a intelligent lockdown, and that means that we have social distancing rules in place, which means, you know, if you are out and about, keep your distance, but stay at home as much as possible, work from home as much as possible, and the police does give out fines for violation. For example, you're not allowed to be in the same car as someone who is not in your own household, you know, that sort of thing. That has a 390 euro fine. So, you know, it's not a complete lockdown. We are allowed to leave our homes, but only for essential stuff, only if you really need to. And I happily abide by those rules, and not just because I'm a cheapskate and I want to avoid being fined. That plays a little bit of a role. No, mostly I stay indoors, not just because I'm a social recluse, but also because I really believe in the importance of doing our part. Now, I'm not worried about dying myself. I'm young, although compared to you guys, probably not. You probably think I'm old, but I'm relatively young, I'm healthy, that sort of thing. So I'm not worried about myself, but my parents are up there in age, and my granddad is 91 years old, and he relies on my mom and my aunts to take care of him, so they can't stay away from him. And there are more people in that situation. People responsible for caring for vulnerable elderly or immunocompromised people, and these caretakers have to be out in the world. They have to do groceries, they have to go to the pharmacy, that sort of thing. They have to go to places where they might run into me, or they might run into you, and I believe it is my responsibility and your responsibility to do whatever we can to keep ourselves from being a risk to others. Because it might not affect me personally, it might not affect you personally. My granddad will hopefully be okay, but not everyone's granddad or friend who is going through cancer will be that lucky. So we have to do whatever we can, and really, I know it's annoying, I know it's a drag, but it's not that much of an effort to just stay indoors and respect the rules. That just had to be said. I'm so sorry that I'm dragging this on for so long. You came here for this spitting story, but after this experience, I really feel like I just had to say that, because some people are so blatantly selfish during this global crisis that it really makes me mad. And if you're out there and you're one of those people, I want to make you feel bad about that. I'm sorry. If you're being selfish right now, you deserve to feel bad about that. Anyway, I'm gonna move on. So, I do the best I can, and I'm sure you guys are also doing the best you can. I trust you guys. I think you guys are awesome people. I haven't seen anyone in comments anywhere being disrespectful of COVID-19 and the crisis, so great guys, keep going, hang in there, we can do it. You know, I follow the rules, I follow the guidelines, and the only times I leave my house are when I have to go to the grocery store or I have to go to the office. Both things I do as little as possible, but both are things that I can't avoid doing completely. I need to eat. I need to eat, and sometimes I just need to be at the office. There's hardly anyone there, so I don't consider that as too much of an issue. So that's sort of like the context of this story. You know, we have social distancing, we have all kinds of rules, not in complete lockdown. We have to go outside sometimes, including me, myself, and I. So we have now finally circled around to the point of the story, which is the spitting incident. So, it happened last Wednesday. I had been to the office for a little bit, and I was on my way home at the end of the day. And I don't have a car, I should probably clarify that. I don't have a car. I'm one of those weird people that cycles everywhere, including to and from work. So, riding back home on the bicycle lane, I see two men on the sidewalk on the same side of the road walking in my direction. I should probably figure out how to make this more clear with some sort of visual representation, because I'm not sure how else to explain it, but I'm going towards them on the same side of the road as the sidewalk they are walking on. The guys are, I estimated them to be in their late 30s to early 40s. I do notice as I'm approaching them that they look a little unkempt, their hair is a mess, they're unshaven, they're wearing sweats, but really, that's okay. I mean, nowadays, I don't bother dressing up either when I go outside. There's hardly anyone out to see you anyway. Quarantine has made me a messy girl. And, you know, that's just what I was thinking as I was approaching them. That I was just thinking about how I must look most of the time when I go do my groceries. I'm also wearing sweats, I'm wearing a baseball cap, I'm usually not wearing any makeup, so I don't know, I was just kind of having amusing thoughts in my head. And, you know, it's not like they saw me looking at them, by the way. It was a sunny day, so I was wearing my sunglasses, so it wasn't like they caught me staring. I looked at them, I noticed some things. Anyway, the other thing on my mind was, of course, keeping an appropriate distance. There was no one else around, no other cars, no other cyclists, no other pedestrians. Everyone's at home. So I go to the edge of the bicycle lane as far away from the sidewalk as possible, but there is a little stone barrier that protects cyclists from cars. Not unimportant, but that barrier does keep me from steering out onto the actual road and keeps me from really getting away from them. But the distance between myself and the guy closest to me would have been would have been more than enough, at least as far as I can estimate. In the Netherlands, the advised distance is 1.5 meters, which is a little less than 5 feet. And I only know that because I googled it. The imperial system is weird. Considering I'm going to be cycling past them at a pretty high speed, I'm not too concerned about it. The distance is good enough, and I really don't have any other choice other than stopping, turning around, and literally going in the opposite direction. I'm not gonna do that. I want to go home. So it takes me forever to tell this story when really it all happened in a matter of seconds, but there are so many layers. It's like an onion. We need to peel back all of the layers, but we finally got to the center of the onion. So I'm riding towards these guys, and I do notice that they are both looking at me, which makes me a little bit uncomfortable. I was looking at them too, so I guess I can't throw stones, but they were really staring, like intently. And just as I cycle past them, the guy on the outside, the guy closest to me, takes a step forward to the very edge of the sidewalk towards me, and throws his shoulders forward towards me to catapult his spit at me. I'm talking about him really hacking up all of the mucus in his entire nose, mouth, and throat and spitting it at me. He wasn't spitting a little bit of excess saliva on the ground like so many guys do. Which, by the way, side note, why do you do that? Is swallowing difficult? Is it too taxing for you? Are you grossed out by your own homemade spit? What is it? You want us to swallow? You better learn to swallow yourself, because it's not sexy. And you should also be aware that it is a hazard nowadays, because someone is unknowingly going to step in your spit and take it home with them on the bottom of their soul, so just stop doing that. Anyway, no, that's not what he was doing. It wasn't one of those cool guys spitting on the ground. He was looking at me the whole time, stepping forwards towards me, angling his body towards me, and purposefully spitting towards me. And he wasn't even laughing about it or anything. It didn't seem like he was doing it for fun or like he was bullying me. It really felt like he was using it as an attack, and it came out of nowhere. Now, I was wearing my headphones and I just kept cycling, so I don't know if they laughed afterwards, because I hauled ass out of there, but either way, it's not funny. It's not cool, under any circumstances, but especially now. Like, it wasn't cool in 2019, and it's definitely not cool in 2020 to spit on someone. And these guys were adult men too. I am so flabbergasted. I really don't know what's wrong with people. Every single person I've told this story to has told me I should have called the police right away. Except one colleague during a virtual meeting who told me I should have made a U-turn and given them a taste of their own medicine. But of course only a guy would think it's a good idea for a woman, by herself, to go after 2 adult men on an abandoned street. That's just not a good idea. But everyone else has been like, you should have called the cops, because the guy could have been arrested for this and would have definitely been fined for it. Unfortunately, that thought didn't even cross my mind. I was in total shock the rest of the way home. If anybody else saw me on the way home, they thought I was... They must have thought there was something seriously wrong with me. I'm still in shock. I can't believe this happened. So, upon arriving home, I came to the thankful conclusion that the dude has piss poor aim, because he didn't manage to hit me. I checked my jacket, I checked my pants, my shoes, and I couldn't find anything. But it's still disgusting, and I still felt the need to throw everything in the laundry and take a shower. I mean, I've lived in the city center of a pretty big city for Dutch standards while I was studying at university, so I've had some interesting run-ins with drunkards and douchebags, but maybe that's future storytime material, by the way, but I've never had someone try to missile strike me with their spit. I'm still baffled that the thought would even occur to someone. Anyway, moral of the story is, make sure you guys really keep your distance from people, because people just can't be trusted. Stay safe out there, guys. Alright, so that was the story. It was kind of weird listening back to that after so much time has passed. I haven't had another run-in with these two dudes, even though apparently they live in my area, or at least work in my area, I don't know. But thankfully I haven't seen them again. Share your own crazy experiences in a comment, and let me know if you like this gameplay plus storytime format. I live a pretty boring life, but sometimes I do have a doozy to share. Or just a really scary story about something that also happened that week. That was a really bad week. Anyway, I also recorded that story, so if you want to hear about that, it's pretty freaky. But if you want to hear about that, let me know. Anyway, thank you so much for checking out this weird video. Subscribe for more dinosaur-related weirdness. And if you think weird is good, leave a like on your way out. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, enjoy the game. And don't spit on people.